All right, so we'd like to welcome you to our single session of Electric Cars 101, your guide to EVs. We actually have done this before in 2 classes, so we're consolidating the content, but I'm providing you with all the other content as appendices to the PDF document that you will be receiving after this class. So you're going to get all the content. It's just that we're not going to be able to deliver it in person. So we hope to have you ask lots of questions. We're going to cover the basic information. But before we do that, I think we should do some introductions. So Katie, go ahead.
Hello, Katie Rygg. I'm co-founder of Penfield Green, and I've had a Tesla Model 3 since 2020, and it's my first electric car, and really enjoying it.
You will also be seeing case studies from Harry Birch and Bob Knauer. They could not be here tonight. I'm Al Hibner, also a co-founder of Color Penfield Green, and I just bought a 2025 Chevy Equinox EV and kind of over the moon about this car. So we'll talk a bit more about that. So I'd like Igor to introduce himself.
Igor Orlovich. I'm on a third EV at the moment, and sometimes I help with these classes.
Igor was early on with us to actually start to deliver these classes. So good to see you back tonight. We'll be calling on John and Igor, our experts with deep knowledge of electric vehicles. So that's who we are. Okay, Katie?
Yes, so Color Penfield Green is a community group here in Penfield. We are part of a much larger sister organizations, other Color Community Green teams. It started in Penfield, it started in Brighton, and now it's kind of all over the 9-county region. We learn from each other. We share our wins, our challenges, and it's been great. And so our mission is to educate. So here we are tonight. Thank you for helping us meet our mission. We support and empower Penfield residents to become community leaders in addressing climate change. And you can see, in addition to these energy-focused classes, we also have other projects that might be of interest. And so we invite you to join us because we are people-powered, and we take your skills, your passions, and we translate that into action. So we'd like to encourage you to subscribe to our monthly newsletter. That's the QR code that will take you to the sign-up page. It is chock-a-block full of great resources. Igor shares, he basically follows EV news. He and Ravi follow EV news every day just because they love it and it's fun. And they share the highs, the lows, what's breaking, what the dealers have to offer. And so our newsletters really do feature a lot of news on EVs. So if this is something that you're interested in, our newsletter is the right place for you. I mean, there's other climate newsletters in the area, but I haven't seen any that do such a deep dive on electric vehicles. So definitely recommend that. Nice.
Thank you. And I think most of you have been here for other classes. So Color Penfield Green actually is sponsoring this entire series of 4 classes. That's one of the things that we do. And you can take one of those sheets on your tables. We also are collaborating. I've talked about this with those of you who have been at other classes, so I wanted to update you. Tonight is a class that we really hope, if you do purchase an EV, if you purchase one,
Not lease.
if you buy one and you go to that web address right there and report it, our sustainability engineer will validate it, and then you go into our contest and we could earn, you can see right up here, for EVs. If we get 15 total new purchases in this campaign, we already have 5. Yeah, we're close. So we're close to getting $7,500 for the town of Penfield for sustainability projects. So even if you know someone else in Penfield who has purchased an EV, bought one, and hasn't done this, if you can encourage them to report their purchase, we'll get closer and closer to earning that grant money from NYSERDA. So help us out, especially if you buy, help us out. And same thing is true with heat pumps. If you end up buying a heat pump or a heat pump water heater and you report it, that will help our campaign as well. And we're really close. We're really close to the first tier here, second tier. So we could get $10,000, $17,500 total dollars for the town of Penfield for sustainability projects like additional chargers and other kinds of things that we've done. So please think about helping us out. Okay, five folks filled out the survey. And what I've done is circle the things you most want to know about here. Okay, we can read them really quickly. Prices as compared with gas cars, rebates and tax credits, cost of maintenance, cost to charge, cost of installing home. We're going to cover all of this. I'm circling the ones that had 3 people stating it as something they wanted to learn more about, how they performed during the winter, and the other ones were things like info on future EVs that will have longer range and faster charging. I had a Ford C-Max PHV, considering Ford Escape. I noticed in cold weather, so I'm curious to hear your experience. And then the last one here, they wanted to know about the risk of deep sea mining for electric vehicles, metals, like for EV battery production. So that's kind of arcane. I don't know too much about that topic myself, maybe. But I don't. So, anyway, these were the kinds of things you wanted to learn about. And the single most important topics that you listed were more charge points and better info if they are actually working. That's always a concern. Personal experience owning, maintaining, and driving EVs in this climate. Pros and cons of particular models. I don't think the Leaf would work here. Well, Igor will have a couple of comments about that.
On my second one now.
Cost break-even point on miles driven between gas hybrid and 100% EV. Net cost to buy after rebates. Should I get an EV? Okay, so this is what you want to know about. We'll check back with you at the end to see if we've answered your questions. Okay, that's what you're asking to learn about. Now, the way the class is structured, we're going to do basic information first, then Katie will do a case study. I have no idea how much time we have left. I may not be able to get to my case study, which I would like to deliver for you. So if I don't, what I've done is created a surprise. You ready for this? Okay. We're going to ask you to ask questions as we go. You're going to get a copy of this slides. The links in the PDF are clickable. Every single link we give you, you can click and go from the PDF document. Okay? Has anybody not been getting the PDFs? Because I'm trying to be really good about emailing them out to you. Don't see any hands. Okay. All right. Here's the agenda. I'm not going to read this to you. We're going to go through it. You can come back and look at it. The appendices. I had to move 3 of our case studies to the appendices, and I hope we can get to have enough time to get to at least to my case study. And we'll be drawing questions from John or asking John and Igor to weigh in on their experience with EVs as well. So that's the agenda for tonight. It's jam-packed. We only have an hour and a half, and I've already used 10 minutes. Okay, so here we go. All right, here's my surprise.
All right.
Since I don't know if I can get to my case study, and oh, by the way, my case study is for a car I just sold. I sold the 2020 Bolt, but I've only had the Equinox 2025 for 3 months. So I don't really have a lot of information, but I have some information for you. And what I want to do is front load the question about, is it affordable? And, can I get one of these cars and on and on? And what are they like right now? So I'm going to front load that information. That's a pretty good looking car. I kind of like it. Okay. So here we go. Let's do a little deeper dive into some of the features that are EV specific that are just absolutely to me, even to me, with 14 years of experience with hybrids, plug-ins, and EVs, 14 years. Some of these features are pretty amazing to me. I think Chevy has hit a sweet spot here. So take a look.
Hello, everybody. This is Al Hibner, and I'm in my brand new 2025 Chevrolet Equinox EV. And I just got in and turned the car on, and I found out that my wife was driving it before I was. So her profile is active. It's a very simple profile. It has her preset FM radio station, and I've muted it right now so that I can show you what I'm about to do. So what I really want to do now is switch to my profile, and these are Google profiles inside the Chevy Equinox. So I'm going to touch Alan here. And what happens is that it loads my Google profile, and I can start to kind of customize it here a little bit. I want to show the audio and the map as well at the same time. And let me turn the volume on. Okay, so the radio is on. And if I did not want the volume, I can actually instruct Google to turn that off. Hey, Google, turn audio off. Okay, so Google has turned the audio off, but the feature I really wanted to show was the mapping feature here. So I'm going to instruct Google to map a route to a hotel in Pennsylvania. Hey, Google, map a route to the Holiday Inn Express in Dixon City, Pennsylvania.
Holiday Inn Express in Suites Dixon City, Scranton, an IHG hotel is 3 hours, 25 minutes from your location by car in light traffic.
Now, here's what's fascinating about this new feature. Basically, I've instructed Google to map out a route to a hotel, 3 or 4 hours away. But what's really important is looking at my state of charge, which right now is 78%, and it is telling me where to stop to charge. So Castle Creek, it wants me to go to the Electrify America, and that's all I need to do. I'll be at 23% state of charge, stop for charging for 19 minutes minimum, and then I can get right back on and go to my destination. So basically, folks, what we have come up with right now is not just a car, not just an electric vehicle, but this is actually what I call a car top computer. It's using Google profiles, individual for each person that drives this car, and the ability to speak for your commands. It is just incredible. This removes so much of the barriers to driving an electric vehicle. I feel comfortable right now that I could hop in this car without any planning and actually instruct Google to map a route, let me know where the chargers are. And when you combine this with the fact that I can now use Tesla superchargers because I have an adapter, I have no longer got any range anxiety. I think we're good to go. Coupled with a 319 mile range, there's just no issue with taking this car on the road. Thought you would want to know. Al Hibner, out.
Over and out. Okay, now, what do you think this car costs? What's the retail cost? Not you guys. Who wants to take a guess? Anybody on Zoom? What do you think the retail cost of this car is, having seen it now? Take a guess.
And it's brand new, right?
Brand new. Oh, okay, really good. Really good. Okay, excellent. What do you think I paid after all incentives? Net amount after incentives. 37. Okay, here we go. So you nailed the price.
Yes.
The incentives were $14,500. I paid out the door $28,795. My amount financed is about the same, and my payment's $454. So let's put to rest the idea of affordability. You can just shovel the incentives in, and you can get a car that's way cheaper than any gas car I can think of with similar features. So I want to answer, I'm pre-answering your questions about can I afford it and what's it like after incentives, okay? Pretty darn good, if I don't say so myself. Okay, so we're going to start now. Any questions about that? I just wanted to kind of get that right up front, and I don't have any other slides on my car, but I wanted to get a couple in there because I thought that would be fun. Okay. We're going to go right into the content here at this point. And Igor and John, our experienced folks, question.
That is a purchase, right?
Purchase.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, I bought it. Payments $454 a month.
Right.
And you said tax credit runs through at the point of sale.
Yeah, all of the rebates were point of sale. Basically, I signed a waiver to grant the $7,500 tax credit to Hazelton. There's actually a form in TurboTax that you have to fill out, state that you gave the dealer your credit. You sign the credit over to them that they can claim the tax credit, and then state credit, it's a point of sale credit. And the other manufacturer rebates, loyalty, because I had a Chevy Bolt and I don't know what else they did. It surprised me it was $5,000. So that ain't bad. I'll take it. Other questions? Okay. So before I go into this, I just want one comment from John, who also has the same car I have, Equinox. He's done way more trips in it than I have. Are you finding the ease of use of that mapping to work well for you on your?
We did our trips in our Chevy Bolt, which is a generation older.
So you're about ready to test this out.
Yeah, in 2 weeks.
Excellent.
We're gonna big,
We'll
Long
get,
Island to New England.
we'll get a report from you.
Yeah. But we did it in an older generation car, and it was fine.
So what's so unique about this, and Katie's going to do her case study. Tesla has had a feature something like this for a long time, but now Chevrolet has introduced it in their really, really competitive vehicles. And for me, range anxiety is something that you kind of deal with. It's there, but now it's lessened a great deal. I'm not so worried about it. The car has good range, and I've got good guidance on where to go to charge. So it's excellent. Okay. What I'd like to do to start out with is talk about the 3 different types of electric vehicles. Let's do some level setting of your knowledge about cars. The first is a hybrid electric vehicle. Probably all of you have heard that term, hybrid electric vehicle. So what is it? If you think about it, a hybrid has a gas engine plus 1 or more electric motors plus a small battery that is used to capture energy from braking when the car is slowing down. So the battery is there to assist the car at several points to move the car along with the gas engine, and it reduces the amount of usage of the gas engine. It improves the mileage of your gas engine, and it's usually quite limited. I mean, cars I've had that were hybrids probably couldn't go more than about a mile or 2 on battery alone because they're very small batteries. They're there to assist the gas engine and get you better mileage. Right now, there are no tax credits or rebates for hybrids. So if you look at it, here's the small battery pack, usually under the back seat. You still put gasoline in it. And here's your regular gasoline engine. And somewhere in here is an electric traction motor that helps to help the gas engine. So when you come up to a stop sign, the gas engine actually usually just shuts right off. So you're conserving gasoline, and the electric motor starts you for the first 10 or 15 miles per hour, because that's when I think the efficiency is good for the electric motor and it's not so good for the gasoline motor. That's what helps to save gasoline in a hybrid. Okay, questions about hybrids? Any questions? Plug-in hybrid. This is the middle level of electric vehicles. This has a much larger battery. It can be plugged in. You can charge it overnight in your home. If you have a just regular house current, it can go quite a bit more distance. So on battery only, some of the plugins now are 25 to 50 miles range. So good for your daily routine, your daily errands. It's all electric. If you're going out to go shopping or, going to work and back, basically a plug-in hybrid, usually they're set with a range that is good for the daily activities. Once you're on a trip, it runs out of that 25 to 50 miles of battery, and then you're running on a gas engine. And usually there's no concern about range anxiety. You're not worried about not being able to charge somewhere. You just go to a gas station at that point. Okay. This has been, and I think this may be, I'm not sure what rebates and tax credits are available for. I don't know if there are at this point tax credits for, Igor?
Possibly in this order state,
NYSERDA, some,
depending on the range.
okay, right, depending upon the range.
Yeah.
So if you look at a plug-in hybrid, notice the battery pack is much bigger. Still got a gasoline filler cap here, but now you have a charger. Now you have to charge the car if you want to use the small battery there. Same traction motor, same gasoline motor, everything similar to the hybrid, except that it's a larger battery and you can charge it overnight. Questions? Any questions on that car? Okay. Here comes the battery electric vehicle. This is purely battery electric. There's no gas engine. There's no gas filler cap. There's no gas tank. It's all batteries, and this is the type of car that's available for the highest amount of tax credit and rebates, as you just saw in my particular example. So typically, the battery pack is underneath the seating, both the rear seats and the front seats, and usually it's quite large. No gasoline filler cap, and here's the charger door, and there's no gasoline motor. There is only an electric traction motor it's located in different places depending upon the type of EV that you have. So questions on the three: hybrid, plug-in hybrid, and battery electric vehicle. Any questions from our folks online or here? Okay, all good?
I want to address the question about the rebates for plug-in hybrids. That you are correct. It is the Drive Clean rebate from New York State, and if greater than 200-mile range, you get $2,000 rebate.
Plug-in
That would be
won't
fine.
have to.
Yeah.
No.
So less than a 40-mile range, you get $500 rebate.
Okay, that's
Or 40 to 199, you get 1,000. So some plug-in hybrids can get 40 miles. So you could get the $1,000.
no problem. Okay, good. All right, so we want to answer the question, I think, why are we moving to electric vehicles? And bottom line, it is the next step in our evolution of personal transportation, no question about it. Most aspects of these cars just are better than combustion cars, than gasoline engine cars. And a lot of places are actually slowing down or stopping production of gasoline engine internal combustion, ICE cars, internal combustion engines. And Igor, I'm not sure, is this still generally speaking up to date at this point in terms of the areas that are going to be banning gasoline cars in the future? Okay.
Loving banning the cell, right?
Sell of new, so people can still use them.
Now, is there pushback against this and some of these mandates? Yeah, there's pushback. I don't know how this is all going to shake out. It's going to be a very interesting future over the next 4 years to see where EV mandates, if they exist, where they're actually going to be rolled back or made stronger. We don't know the answer to those questions. All right, one of the questions people had was cost of fueling. There is no question. Gas prices are constantly in a roller coaster going up and down, depending upon the economy. And electricity prices are quite a bit more stable, generally speaking, quite a bit more stable. And you can even make your own electricity. I know you do, and I will. 4 people in this class are solar panel aficionados that actually make their own, will be making their own electricity. Charging at home, I think all of us who have EVs got to agree. You pull in the garage and you plug in, and it's just dumb simple, just a no-brainer. Really easy, convenient. You can even pre-warm some cars. You can set it to start up in the morning and get warm inside the cabin for you before you take off, so you can program cars. And you can schedule to be charging when the electricity is the cheapest. Our Genie has a program called Optimize EV. Are you still using Optimize EV? And you are. I had a little problem with it, but I don't know if you're using Optimize EV. But our Genie will actually manage the charging of your car. You set it when you want it to be charged, and then it will pick the most time of use. It will pick the best time to actually charge the car during the overnight hours.
Or they can let you do that. They pay a tiny bit less upfront, but basically it is in charging the evening. And then they pay you the difference of the all peak rates and normal. So it's like $10-15 a month basically.
Al, what happened? What went wrong?
So the people that have success with Optimize EV have what, John?
We have chargers that
Charge point chargers that are connected to the Wi-Fi and to the network seamlessly. I do not have a charge point charger. It is connecting through the My Chevy app. And John can explain. I mean, we're going cloud to cloud to cloud. We're jumping about 4 times in order to get information. And so it constantly timed out. And it just simply did not work. And it changed the settings in my car. I've reported all of this. Every time it charged, I said, stop it at 80. It went to 100. I mean, I've reported all my problems. We'll see if they can fix it.
The basic difference is you can enroll the car or the charger. Because in my case, we have two EVs, and one of them you can't enroll because Nissan doesn't allow it. It was easier to enroll the charger, and then they couldn't even handle 2 cars.
Okay.
And I don't think they care, right? It's as long as
We-
we charge and so on.
We
charger
hear
is easy.
we're on the bleeding edge of this program.
Yeah, we started when they just announced. We kind of worked through all the bugs.
Okay.
It's been a year. I think I made $160 out of them. It's a little inconvenience.
there's a EV this program, and they have a couple other things. And that's a subject of, 2 hours, but you can reduce the cost of charging
Yeah.
by using.
You get a kickback every month, a kickback of the amount that
Every
you.
quarter you get 30
Like
bucks.
for us that have 2 cars, it's worth the percent.
So I've done my service. I've reported my issues. We'll see if they can fix this interface to the Chevy app. I would hope they do, because I'd like to continue. All right, cost of ownership. This is a great chart. And it really shows that the cost of owning an EV is comparable to the cost of owning a compact SUV right here. Compact SUV, 67.1 cents per mile. Now, this is everything. Insurance, maintenance, this is all costs of a car
In 5 years.
in 5 years, yeah. So the cost of an electric vehicle is about 67.41 cents. The compact SUV is comparable to it. So this is coming from bankrate.com. And you can check that link yourself. So no issue with cost. Okay, why are EVs better than combustion engine, ICE, internal combustion engine cars? There is no question that many people will wax eloquent about the torque. There's no lag. You step on that. Katie talks about torque.
My kids used to call it the swing car. It felt like you were on a swing. I enjoy that.
The electric motor is directly, it's coupled and it just responds instantly and wow. So that's fun. One pedal driving, also known as regenerative braking. This is a feature I really, really like. It's one of the coolest features around there. Basically, as you're coming up to a stop sign, if you have this engaged and you're able to control whether you want it on or off, like most cars, in my car. So as you ease back on the accelerator, it starts to brake, slow down. And it's actually using that to charge the battery. And if you do it just right, you can actually come to a complete stop. If you're not driving like stupid fast, you can actually come to, so you actually never have to move your foot from accelerator to brake. I love it. I love the feature. It's just extraordinary. My wife hates it and turns it off. So,
It goes away. For me, it goes away when I'm up over like 95% for a road trip because there's nowhere to put that energy. That regenerative braking goes away. And then on really cold days. So before the battery gets warmed up, it won't take a charge. So it's kind of a surprise to drive and not have that that slow down. And I have to remember, oh yeah, it's cold. And
Yep, that's one of the surprises of it. So we talked about preheating, turning it on so that it preheats the cabin. And if you've got the garage door closed, would you ever turn a gas car on in a closed garage? No, not unless you, well, I won't go there, but the point is you can do it in a closed garage because there is no combustion of any
You do
kind.
it all the time because you come back with a sleeping toddler. And it's like you just let her sleep in the car. Cars, a lot of them have utility mode where you just let it, basically you won't drive, but everything else is running. So keep it running with equipment, but you can't accidentally make the drive. So you just set it there and wait until the thing wakes up and then, or camping.
Weight distribution, the battery pack on our bolts, it was close to 900 to 1,000 pounds. And it's on the bottom of the car. So it increases the stability of the car. Now, EVs technically, traditionally, usually weigh a little bit more than their internal combustion counterparts. But that's made up for in better control, better winter driving, better weight distribution overall. And because there's no kind of coupling of the engine, the gas engine with the wheels, you typically have no bumps and you have much more space in the cabin. You actually have a bit more space because there isn't the whole large motor in the front. In fact, the Teslas have what's called a frunk, F-R-U-N-K,
it's
which
great.
is a trunk in the front.
And we have an under trunk in our trunk. So we have actually quite a lot of space in the city.
You have a triple trunk?
3 trunks.
Okay. Obviously, no issue with going into a gas station and, letting gas spill all over your shoes. That doesn't happen. And what's happening more and more, I think it will happen, is bi-directional charging or bi-directional electricity. Cars, EVs will actually become battery sources to run your house. or your tools or your job site in the future. So they'll bi-directional electricity. That's not on my car. I don't have that, but I think it's coming at some point.
Kia, Hyundai, Ford,
Ford F-150 has,
F-150 has 220 out. The front is full of basically outlets. Hyundai
Sweet.
and Kia's, our Kia has 120 coming out. Two
nice.
outlets, actually.
At our last EV car show, we had the Ford Lightning
Yep.
charging another car.
Yep.
That had come a long way.
So this is extreme convenience because if you wire it right, it can run enough circuits in your house. So if there's a power outage, you're running off your EV. It's a battery. It's a big old battery. Bottom line. Okay, typically, like the Tesla has a frunk. There's no engine in the front. I think you have engines on, or motors, electric motors on each wheel. You have all four,
No, it's two,
two motors.
at most, two or three.
Some of the high-end EVs have one per wheel, and some of them do, yep. Stability, we talked about, heavier, faring better in a crash. And I think most cars have all these advanced crash protection systems. My Equinox right now, I've noticed them more. The lane keep assist, it really works well for me. If I'm kind of moving over across the median strip or the side line, it will coax me back, steer me right back. And there's all of the rear crash protection and front crash protection, but you know, that's not just EVs. That's most cars these days have safety measures, but the EV are great. So claims for electric vehicles, insurance claims in that document right there are 40% lower than identical gas-powered vehicles. This is the Insurance Institute. And there's a link there that you can go look at that, look up that information. So they're safe. The cars are safe.
Is that because electric vehicle drivers are better drivers? I mean, is that the same number of wrecks and
Good question. I don't know. Anybody want to weigh in on that?
A lot of these systems are included automatic braking, forward, backward, pedestrian interaction. Like my car all the time fights people. So that helps a lot. And then because the battery is big at the bottom, they have to protect the battery, so the car is more. And then you have more stuff to crumple before the people compartment basically. So they're just effectively safer.
Yeah, you're not going to get a big old gas engine coming through the cabin into your lap kind of thing on a front crash.
And Model 3 is basically two big metal rails with nothing in between, and the motors are the wall because it's
Yeah,
so
I mean,
small.
I'm not questioning that you're safer. I think the 40% lower may be because there are fewer wrecks. Period.
Yeah, they're more avoiding them. Yeah.
You're right. The early adopters are more careful drivers. That's a possibility. That's a possibility. Maintenance is a huge benefit. I know with my Bolt, with most cars, you have to do oil changes usually every 6,000 or 7,500 miles, right? Well, there are fluids in electric cars, and they're fluids to cool and pre-warm the battery. There's fluids. But on my car, they had to be changed every 111,000 miles. That's a long interval. I don't think would ever make
Yeah,
that
you show up
interval.
to dealer once a year to do $10 inspection. And then usually it's a whole bunch of software updates, recalls and software updates.
Then with the regenerative braking, if you're around town and you're not using your brakes, guess what? They're gonna last forever. Okay. You're just not using them. There's no oil, there's no transmission fluid, there's no spark plugs. You know, at one point a few years ago, Hazelton would call me up and try to have me come in for service. And I would say, why? I don't need anything. There's no service specified. I'll see you in 100. No, not really. I mean, you do need to have an inspection and you do need to keep up with it, and tires wear out and stuff like that. So
Yeah, my inspection was $10 and they screw in the free car wash. So it's kind of like cheaper than the car.
but it is absolutely true that there is less maintenance on these cars, unequivocally, no question about it. before I bought my Chevy Bolt, I looked at videos. I watched them disassemble the electric motor on my Chevy Bolt. There were 13 moving parts in the electric motor, only 13. There's hundreds in a regular gas engine. So what could go wrong? No belts, no alternators, no radiators, no exhaust system, no catalytic converter to be cut up and stolen by someone where you park. Less to go wrong. And the powertrains, electric motors run many of the biggest trains and subways, and they're extremely durable. Some of them have 1 million mile powertrains. I think, Igor, that was your statistic. Did you get that from
No, I was Tesla,
a Tesla article?
but Subway, the last.
Subways, yeah.
Subways, electric trams, they're all 50 to 100-year life cycle.
Yeah, and trains use diesel power to run the electric motors in the wheels. Okay, so we struggled to find some downsides, but there are some downsides to electric vehicles. This is Igor's point. I love it. You may not have any idea what gasoline costs. That's not a problem. Obviously, you're not going to see a mechanic as often. And this hopefully is becoming less true as they sell more of them, but we have had, I think all of us that own them have had issues where kind of weird that they really don't seem to know completely what they're doing, and they have to get their act together. Maintaining.
I've had good, exceptional luck at the Chevy dealer without them.
What's that?
I've had exceptional service.
Yeah.
For my Chevy.
Yeah, I'm not going to generalize here, but yeah, some are better than others.
You basically have to know who sells a lot and
Yeah,
pick your dealers, pick your brands.
yep. Find the dealers that sell the most, for sure. And we have a way to do that. We know that during some of the hurricanes recently, Helene and Milton, some EVs that were immersed later actually caught fire because water got into the battery, and a lithium battery reacting with water.
Salt water.
Yeah.
Salt water.
Key.
Salt water, right, is not a good thing. Salt water and lithium spark a very active chemical reaction. So, but we.
Salt water also damages ice vehicles.
Oh, gosh, yes,
So-
absolutely. It's not sure. It totals both vehicles. It can total both vehicles. We have in the appendix, we have a page that says what should you be doing if you expect a saltwater flood? What should you do ahead of time with an electric vehicle to get it ready? Okay. This is Igor's point too. No engine means no waste heat means you really don't have any heat to
I mean, the car's cold.
melt the snow off the hood.
Big snowstorm, I had a giant thing because it's got no heat. Do anything about it.
And more in the past, because now, as you saw from my new Equinox, route planning is becoming more and more available to take the whole idea of range anxiety out of the equation. Where do I need to stop? What will my state of charge be? How long should I really sit there and charge before I can go on to my destination? So we have lots of tools that now help us to plan our trips much better with electric vehicles and reduce that range anxiety.
No, the big thing is if you integrate those tools in the car, you can do preheating, preconditioning. So if there is too hot or too cold, you can bring it to the optimal stage by the time you get there. But it's only on the things that are integrated. None of my cars have it. Like one has it, so you have to use its navigation, which is not good. The other one doesn't, so you have to do something like separate tools.
If you don't have route planning in your car, Teslas do, now mine does, there is an application called A Better Route Planner, which is really excellent, that you can put on your smartphone, and it will do many of the same kinds of things to help you plan your route ahead. Okay, so I'm going to click and go here, but how do you select an electric vehicle? How do you choose one? And I was having trouble connecting to Plugstar earlier. I don't know if the website's up or not.
So I don't know. if the links-
Let's see if it's up.
They totally redesigned it, so maybe the link is no longer.
There, I gotta move to, let's see. Yeah, I'm not getting into Plugstar. So what I would recommend you do is, maybe it's down or there's an issue with it right now, but it allows you to put in factors, things that you're interested in, types of cars, models, makes, and then browse prices, availability. Availability is coming in a second here, but Plugstar is really an excellent resource. Strongly advise that you go to it.
Yeah, the questionnaire it says, describe your daily usage. And then, like, these are the cars we'll fit.
Hey, Al. I am gonna put it into the chat if you want the link.
Which,
The link changed basically.
Oh,
The site changed. They redesigned the whole thing.
oh my gosh. Okay, so let's look at the chat.
It actually looks the same. That browse, I
I'm-
think it's the same. It just came up on my computer.
It's not opening.
All right.
Yeah, okay, so anyway. We'll have to work that out and try to figure out what the link is and or
No, it's working. That link is working on my computer.
then it did not work on mine, so. It's Plugstar browse electric cars.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, so I'm not in it. So anyway, strongly encourage you to go to that link after this class. Okay. Also, we have a link here called Consumer Reports and EV Incentive Finder. Let's see if I can get that loading. And I'll put that over here. So I'm just out of luck with almost all of, oh, there we go. Okay. So there's consumer.
Al, Plugstar came up
Yeah,
there.
it opened.
Plugstar came up there multiple times.
But it's not opening.
Oh, weird. Okay.
I do not know why, Katie, sorry.
Just go with Blockstar by itself without.
Okay. So this website from Consumer Reports, excellent for thinking, if you're thinking about buying a car, you can get an idea for what incentives are available for that car. I think they're going to want to try to get you to buy a subscription to Consumer Reports, but certainly give that site a try. You can plug in things like, do I want a full battery electric? Do I want to plug in? Is it the main car, second car? How much I travel, colors, commute size, etc. Okay, this is a new website, courtesy of that gentleman right there, Igor, and it's called the EV Finder. So once you've chosen the kind of EV you want to look for, what dealers have it? If
It
you
somehow
go,
gets at the data, so we don't go to the dealer sites, it's just a giant table says this dealer has these brands, these are the prices, these are VIN numbers. It's not every brand, it's some subset of brands, but they can get to that information.
I am sorry, my internet access browser is just not working very well here right now, so. We encourage you to go in, you can put in your zip code. What else? What are the other criteria? Let me get back to that.
Yeah, brand,
External color, drivetrain, price,
the
Delivery
model
date,
year, and
dealer distance, even a VIN number.
And these all new cars?
it gets into the database of cars of the lots. I don't know how.
Okay,
Whichever manufacturers allow that. I think it's Hyundai, Ford, Kia, a couple other brands. Just general availability minus the dealer web pages. It's somebody's private project, somebody did it for.
We're just trying to flood the zone with resources that you can use to research on your own. Okay,
what about the used EV car dealer?
Mhm.
Is that mentioned in this?
let me go
That
back.
site won't see it. I think Al has it somewhere else.
Have it.
Trim, color.
Yeah.
No, Al, it's okay. Sorry, I'm asking the wrong question.
I
No,
don't,
she's asking about electric car corner.
oh, electric car
Do
corner.
we have a slide about it?
Yeah, okay. I can try that.
No. Do
Do
we
you
have a
have a
slide?
slide for it?
I don't.
Okay.
No, that's used EVs. There is and maybe you want to state a little bit
Yeah, so
about it.
there is a dealership in Farmington called Electric Car Corner that sells used EVs. And they have typically about 80 to 100 in the house.
There we go. There's the website.
Like, almost.
And at least for now, the used car credit is still
Yeah.
in play,
Yeah, 4K.
$4,000.
Yeah, a friend bought her a Kia.
It's great. We've been teaching this class for a few years now, but now there's enough used EVs out there in the market that you can justify having a whole dealership dedicated to it.
Yeah, this is fairly new here. So that website, I don't have it in the PowerPoint, but you might want to jot down. It's just electriccarcorner.com. If you're looking for a used car. Beautiful thing about used cars, if they qualify, you can get a $4,000 tax credit versus a new one, which is $7,500. So,
There's a
that
rebate at the point of purchase. So some of these are 10, 12K after.
that's excellent. Okay.
In the area here, they are doing more advertising on the radio in particular.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the numbers. Federally, it's 7,500, still is. The Inflation Reduction Act passed in August of 2022. It passed the Senate under a procedure called reconciliation, meaning the Senate only had to have a majority vote, did not have to overcome a filibuster. So guess what? It could be undone by legislation using reconciliation in the Senate with the current administration. It could be undone. I don't know. I think it's very popular. I don't know if the current administration would consider rolling back all of the IRA or just certain pieces of it. We have no idea.
But part of it is, the much bigger part is what the manufacturers get, not the retail part, because they get money per amount of batteries they build. So a lot of these factories and plants are in red states, so there's a lot of billions that are probably not gonna get.
I'm sure there'll be resistance. I'm sure people will say we want to keep these credits going forward.
So
So I think what I'm trying to say is, I don't think you should be dissuaded from looking at getting one sooner rather than later. Okay. The state has up to 2,000, 4,000 for used EVs. Good. And here's the actual, that's the tax form that you fill out for a federal credit if it was not given to you
part
at
of the
point of sale.
For the charger,
That's right.
installation of the charger.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yep. Yes. I'm not gonna, just not gonna, oh, there, it came up, it actually, so that's for chargers, right? Okay. All right, this is what you were researching, I think. This is the New York State Drive Clean. So I got $2,000 because it's a full battery electric car, my Equinox. It would have been less depending upon the size of the battery. So I don't, my question is, I'm not sure, does that apply to plug-in hybrids?
It does, it does.
All right, good.
Yeah, I mean, so plug-in hybrids would either be the $500 off or the $1,000 off.
Right. If you want more information, there's the link. And I checked that earlier today, so that's good. You can check on that. But It's a point of sale rebate. When you buy the car, it's gonna be right on the car, right on the invoice for the car. Okay, who would like to talk amongst our group here about charging at home? Anybody want to, go ahead, John.
I'll
What
try
are
to
the 3 levels?
I'm John Stewart, and I'm a friend of Al's and Katie's from environmental groups. Charging at home, like you've heard Al talk about in our garage, a lot of people don't have a garage, don't have a lot. I think the myth about charging at home is in the media, read everybody must have a quote unquote expensive charger. It's not true. What you need to do is replace the kilowatts you've used in your daily. And it's pretty simple math. And my suggestion is, if you're really thinking about getting a car, electric car, is the people in this room are, come to cohorts and help you figure out really what you need, what you're talking about. You have a 20-mile-a-day commute. How to calculate how much you need to charge, because you might be able to do it with a 110 charger. Most of us have more, but that's what some of us are nerds. That's what we do. But I think my biggest concern about being an EV proponent is that quote unquote everybody must have, and that statement is usually espoused by somebody that doesn't own an EV, is not an engineer, somebody that wants to have a website. Because we manage 2 EVs with very low power charger for 12 months.
But basically, yes, you have a 120 charger, which is your normal output. Then you have a max speed up, which is more like your dryer output, 220. And that one adds about 20 to 30 miles per hour. The basic one adds maybe 3 miles per hour. So depending how much you drive, tells you how much you need. So if you only drive 20, 30 miles a day, you can recharge that from a regular. And most cars come with them. Some stop doing it because they assume you already have them. So not every car today includes it. And then when you're on the road, you use level 3, which is the one that uses a lot more energy, and you can charge them down to 10 minutes to 40 minutes depending.
And a level 3 charges faster, the lower the speed charges. So, the at least for the Tesla, it kind of optimizes your stops. Like it'll say, drive it down to this percentage, like 20% or 25% battery, and then charge it for 15 minutes. Because if you charge it for much longer, you're going to get kind of less charge at that tail end. So it'll recommend more stops, but they're shorter. And then you end up stopping for less time.
Yeah, anything over 80% of the stuff slowing down significantly, where it doesn't make sense to sit there and wait. A lot of times we just gotta go to like 20 and 50 or something.
Okay, some of the chargers will actually penalize you if you're trying to go
They'll
over
charge.
80%. They'll charge you more.
Because there used to be a problem when a bunch of cars came with free by America for 3 years. So you see a bunch of ID4s just plugging chargers, VW ID4s sitting there for hours for people waiting. Because they want to get free 100%, but
Yeah,
you get 20 minutes to get 80%, and the other 20% take another 80 minutes.
it's just not worth it to
So they
go
started
above
charging
80.
money for that.
And actually, staying within that 80 range, 20 to 80, or that 60 to 80 or 50 to 80 is actually better, I think, for the battery long term as well. So,
But I ask how often when you get to a charging station, they recommend you have to wait for others to move and eventually working once you pull up to one?
That's such a great question. We have somebody online who has talked about having her experience of pulling up to a charger and having none of them work. And that's a really stressful situation. Tesla has a really high up rate. I think 98 to 99% of the time their chargers are going. That has been my experience. But we have had to wait in line a couple of times, but not we're usually first or second, and then people clear out pretty fast. So we haven't had to wait more than 5 minutes. I mean,
Wow.
I
So
would,
you only use Tesla charger.
we only use Tesla chargers.
See, we have a GM car, and we can use a Tesla charger or any other charger, and I've never had to wait. But I have encountered, some chargers on the Mass Pike and on the New York State Thruway. There's a couple of thruway stops that they have very old chargers. And we call the 800 number, but, you know, but for the most part, in Tesla, the Tesla network is superior.
But they added access to most manufacturers, so most manufacturers will get adapter, or the new cars are actually coming with Tesla connectors. So they have access to the charging network. And that gives you a lot more options. But it heavily depends where you are. In California, you have a Tesla supercharger station with 50 stalls and moving forward. Here it's not as bad.
In the EV Go network, you can plug your GM car and go with that. That's enough.
Yep. It's, shall we say, it's getting better, especially with John and I have our GM cars now and access to the Tesla charging. Most of the, not all, but Eastview, we can't plug our cars in on Eastview Mall with Tesla. Yeah. Anyway, it's getting better.
Yeah, this
So-
used to be a desert.
It's
Used
changed
to
in the
be
last
maybe-
6 months.
I used to count how many fast chargers were in the area. It was like 2. Virginia had one that they never opened anyway. And then now you look at West, if you go to PlugShare, which shows all the stations you look in Henrietta, it's like a dealer. Well, every dealer has a fast charger. And that plus New York programs, NYPA has a lot of chargers that they started for everywhere. So we started looking, there's not a lot of empty areas anymore. And then you add Tesla network, there's Magic Dock, which is the adapter right in the example. There's kind of these stations around us. And then on top of it, you can add adapter plus regular Tesla. So it's significantly better than it used to be. But unless you travel, it actually doesn't matter. So for day-to-day use, I mean, I use public chargers really better. Also, just if it's free, Fairport used to have free chargers for a long time. I think they're finally switching to paid. I used to go to market, plug in, and just charge for an hour.
Did we answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Who sets the cost of the charge?
The owners.
Yeah, so the town of Penfield I was talking with Sarah Waterman, the town of Penfield set the price for the brand new chargers by the football courts in Shadow Pines. And they are trying to keep it as close to the utility rate as possible. They're not looking to make a profit, but they don't want to.
There are 2 factors because we just went through the work filing for installing chargers. So you got the cost of electricity, but you also have the cost of monitoring. Because when you get New York money to put it in, they require 5 years of monitoring, and that alone is thousands of dollars a year. So you have to pay for that plus electricity.
Other questions for our online folks or for any other questions before we move on to the case studies?
Is this something I've asked a question about the buying experience? But I was wondering, is it the same as buying a nice car where you have to do professional handling to get the best price?
With most of them, yeah.
So it's not like this is,
Well,
pay sticker, it's the same buying experience.
no, not at all.
How is it?
You want to
It's like when I bought the Equinox in November, they couldn't pile on the discounts fast enough. In fact, I had to check tonight. I thought I only got a $3,000 manufacturer discount. I looked at my invoice, it was $5,000. I mean,
that was unique because it was the service changing. I don't think it's a typical experience.
Well, when was the last time you bought a car? A new car?
5 years ago.
It used to be like everybody knows about Van Wardley going to pay one price. And there was pretty much not a lot of fooling around with the price. They did build in some extended warranty, things like that, but it was built in, there was no surprises. And most of the dealers are moving closer to that. You know, so it's not like when in my youth, when we went to a new car dealer, it was like exhausting experience.
The other comment I'll say is with the incentives and rebates, there's less incentive to have them. Because it's in your face. I mean, $14,500 off the price of the car. What am I gonna do? Ask for another 500? There's less.
The price of what?
So I dealt with two dealers in 22, 23, Hazleton and Bob Johnson. Bob Johnson has a dedicated TV guy. He pretty much waived all the nonsense. It was like 20 minutes, I'm done. Hazleton did the usual, let me talk to finance manager, and I'm like, hey, my time here costs money. You're costing me money. Stop. This level of conversation. So
I-
yeah, that's business as usual.
I bought 3 EVs from the same salesman at a Chevy.
Yeah, it depends whom you go to, what their policies are. In general, I think they're still sleazy places. Some places, I think Katie had a better experience with GP.
We dealt with a computer.
Yeah. So that's your other option.
Are we helping at all?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, better.
And we do have names for people
Well,
for,
it's
like,
I'm
I
about to
could
get
back
there.
Bob Johnson. Yeah.
It was weird. That's my biggest takeaway. Okay, so we got our 2020 Tesla Model 3 in March on day 3 of the lockdown, which was an interesting experience because we wanted to drive it, but nothing was open. And anyway, but how you purchase. So I'm actually really glad you asked that question because my first slide is purchasing experience, which was unlike anything we'd ever experienced before. So you go to the website and you click order now, and then you specify which do you want, the Model S, the 3, the X, the Y, or the Cybertruck. And then you have choices with rear wheel drive or all wheel drive, long range or performance. And then I have asterisks for like increased prices. So if it doesn't have an asterisk, that's kind of the base model. And then color can vary. Stealth gray is now the base model.
Or red is 3S.
Yeah. And then X and S have a special color. Interior, you choose whether you want full self-driving capability. It was 12,000 back in 2020. It's 8,000 now. We opted out of that. We like driving cars ourselves. I'm also skeptical that, I don't know. I'm still worried about that. I was driving down into Fairport, and it was on 250, and my car said, you should be driving 50 miles an hour because there was a branch that was hanging in front of the 2 and it saw 50. And I was like, I'm glad I'm driving to know that this is a 25 mile an hour zone. Anyway, so there's now optional accessories, which I think is really a great upgrade. So like some part you can get a roof rack. That was never an option back in 2020. The Y has a tow hitch and the X has a tow bar. So those are things that are new that are kind of special, I think. The Y, you can also get different seating configurations. Your car can either have 5, 6, or 7 seats. And then I was looking 2 days ago, if you want to purchase one tonight, they can deliver it by February or by the end of this month.
That's different.
Yeah, so it's weird. It's like I felt like my husband and I were like ordering something on Amazon. It's this sort of.
Actually, our cars on Amazon too. I just don't know if it's me or. No, Honda is partnering with them.
Okay, yeah, well, that makes sense. So this is our car. This is the choices that we made. And we were worried about range. We did have range anxiety, so we decided to go with the long range. We don't have family in the area, so when we go visit family, we're going to Wisconsin, we're going to New Hampshire and Massachusetts. So we knew we were going to be driving, and so range mattered. So we can get 322 miles on a full charge in ideal conditions in summer, spring, fall. It certainly goes down quite a bit in the winter. And we paid $46,990 before incentives.
There's no haggling
Yeah.
here. You're just ordering it.
Yeah. So we've had the car now for almost 5 years, and we've driven 54,000 miles. And again, you know, we're kind of catching up to where a normal car would be, but we weren't able to drive it anywhere for the first few months that we had it. So it was skewed for a bit. We, over the last 12 months, we used almost 5,000 kilowatt hours of electricity. And half of that, it's almost exactly half. It's like 51% was charging at home versus on the road. And the Tesla app estimates that we have had a savings over the last 12 months of $713, which that's pretty sweet. And we try to, my husband frequently works from home. I work from home. So we try to use this as our primary car, and then we have the Prius as our backup, and charging at home is sufficient. So we have a Webasto 32A. We have that work done by Green Spark Solar as well when they were installing the solar panels in our house. So I've been really excited about how the car performs on road trips, especially through most of the year. Winter does get a little bit more stressful. I'm always traveling with 2 kids, and so I actually thought that all those stops were going to be really stressful, because when I'm driving my gas car, it feels like every minute that we're still there is like another minute that we could be at my parents' house. And so I'm always so stressed out that it's taking so long. And I thought that knowing that I was going to have to stop for 40 minutes was going to be really stressful. And it turns out it was completely the opposite. I knew, now that I know I'm going to be stuck there for 40 minutes, I make the best of it.
You can't stop for less than that.
We totally can. And we often do. And then we're not in a rush. We're just not in a rush. It's just part of the trip that we go to the grocery store and we're like, oh, we're going to be going to this party tomorrow. What do we need? And it's just a different mindset. And it really surprised me, because I thought I was going to be really annoyed, but I wasn't. The road trip, the battery life estimates really were very good in those warm weather days. It told me at the very beginning of the trip that when we were going to Albany, that it was a 220-mile trip. We started at 100%. It said we were going to be at 12% when we got there. When we actually did, it was at 14%. So I was very happy with that. The charging experience is so easy with Tesla. There's no buttons, there's no credit cards, because the car already has a credit card on file. So you literally just unhook it and plug it into your car, and it does its thing and it talks to Tesla. It's very convenient. Cold hat, you really only get 2/3 of the distance on the same charge. And so instead of charging twice or once to see my parents, we definitely have to stop twice in the colder months. But we make do. We have figured out how to do it. And we've gone to Washington, D.C. twice. We've gone to Cape Cod, way up into Maine. We've gone to Wisconsin twice. What's really nice is my brother-in-law also has a level 2 charger at his house. So it's really nice to visit people who have chargers. My parents don't yet, but maybe they will. And it's really, really convenient when you go visit someone who has one.
You go to DC a lot. Is that a one-stop charge to get there?
That is one, but then you're basically at empty. So we charged right outside of DC so that we were ready to go.
You're going to be stopped there for an hour.
That's right. It was really bad. You're right. But even in our little sedan, like with the trunk, the under trunk, we did Wisconsin. It's a long trip with two adults, 2 kids, 2 dogs, they're little dogs, and 2 weeks of gear. Wow. So all that packs into the car.
Another question, you mentioned losing a third of your charge in cold weather. Does that calculate that in advance for you? Or is it a surprise once you're on the road?
This last time, I feel like it was going down a lot faster than it said it would. And that really stressed me out. So,
what I'm wondering, Katie, because we have a 2023 Bolt, and the Equinox is more integrated, and the difference in the calculations and everything in 2 years, it's the degradation in Equinox is way less than it was in the Volt. And I think, the range of calculations is better. And in other words, if you had a
But the
brand new,
results are updates all the time.
what's
So
that?
our software is the same as if you're in a car because they keep updating on constantly. Well, won't be like this, and Tesla does. So,
You get.
so you're up to date and everything, yeah.
There's a huge difference in Equinox. The cabin heater is a heat pump. Therefore, that's about an 8 or 9 or 10% reduction
That's
in
what
loss due to cold
I
weather.
had the kids bundling up on this last trip.
No,
He really kicked the heat down and it still was dropping
Yeah.
a lot faster than it could have.
Could the temperature.
So,
It wasn't cold, it was really cold.
yeah, the Volt is a resistance heater.
Yeah.
Equinox.
you want to look for a new car, new EV that has a heat pump for heating because it's 2 to 3 times more efficient.
So I only exam in warmer. Like if it's really cold, we're still gonna be doing resistive heating. Because you usually get both.
So you use use the electric hand warmer on the steering wheel and the.
That's great.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But not,
That's what-
it's not just the brand new cars that have the heat pumps. Apparently, our car was one of the last Model 3s that had resistive heating. The newer ones, even that year, had heat pumps. So
They have the technology.
I've already said this, it's wicked fun to drive. I mean, it's the funnest car I've ever driven. Maintenance really has been minimal. I think I've talked about all this. My kids love the heated seats. I've never had a car that had heated seats. That's fun. Igor already just mentioned this. There are software updates that come frequently. Every now and then there's something that changes how you view things on the car and where they
Move, right?
are. And God, well, that's on the next slide. That's one of my big annoyances, big pet peeves, but has really smart cruise control. So, I've had cars in the past where you just set cruise control and then it'll just keep going at that pace no matter what. Whereas this analyzes the traffic out in front and will slow down accordingly, which is really nice. And then my kids love the toy box features, whoopee cushion, can go under anybody's seat and like outside the car.
What's dog mode?
I use that for my groceries, but you can set the internal air climate control to a particular temperature. But it says it comes up on the screen. It says, "Don't worry, my owner will be right back." And this car is set at 70 degrees so that nobody smashes your window
Cool.
if your
No hot dogs.
Yeah, but I don't know. I wouldn't trust it. So I'm not leaving my dog. Okay, I think I just mentioned that first one. I've mentioned all of those, except for the last one. The infrastructure is getting better. This is the worst it's gonna be. So every year it's gonna just keep getting better because people are gonna keep installing more charging. And I'm very happy for non-Tesla owners. I think that Tesla really say whatever you want for the owner. The company did a nice job on the Tesla charging network and they won the battle.
The
And
first
everybody,
for chargers are amazing.
I mean, so everybody's switching to a connector.
Yeah.
25 models are starting to use the same connector.
yeah, they certainly won. So, and they're always up. They're always working. I've been to a few where a couple, this one isn't working, but like all the other ones are. So, okay. And you're going to talk about the EV car show?
Yes.
You are. Okay.
So we're gonna wind up here and I may do 1 or 2 slides from just a couple of slides I want to mention on mine, but we've got a lot of things going, lots of links here. They're all clickable, lots of resources, plug star, plug share. I couldn't open them, but you will. Let's see. Consumer Reports, Tesla Owners Club. This is the link to our website. I think this is the important one right here. And maybe Igor, you could talk about what's coming up in April, because we do it every year and it's awesome.
Yeah, we do 2 car shows a year. One is here, right in the parking lot in April, and one at RIT in October. We bring dealers and bring a bunch of owners. That's one of the most probably virtual government price. So typically it's like 80 plus cars, different models. So you can talk to people who drive these and ask them. And then dealers bring their own cars. Last time I think we had like 16 of them, so you get to sit, play with them sometimes drive them.
Electricians, so you can talk to them about.
Electricians, lawn care people, we also have electric boats, electric buses, basically anything.
So we absolutely urge you, unless you buy one before, urge you to go to that Penfield EV car show. It's just a fantastic event. It's really, really wonderful event. By then, it may actually be warmer. Okay. So
It usually isn't, but we have indoor stuff too. And food. The Parks and Rec supplies food, not free, you have to pay for it, but that's there. And then we partner with the town of Penfield. They're going to be doing an Arbor Day celebration, and we'll send you home with a couple of free native trees, saplings. Yeah. Oh yeah, Arbor Day celebration. There it is.
What's
So-
it, go back to the date of the car show here?
right up there.
Okay.
Basically, I think we only have a couple folks left here. We're kind of winding up. So any comments, anything that you didn't learn that you wanted to, or are you more or less inclined now to think about EV? Any reactions to, for either one of you? Any thoughts that you want to share about what you've learned tonight? And that's okay. I looked earlier, I think there's 3 or 4 cars already signed up and about 5 or 6 people that.
One is actually a Tesla corporate, which apparently is bringing a car from Connecticut to Charlotte. I'm not sure why. They said it could be Cybertruck, could be something else. I mean, there's a service center here, but they're bringing it from now.
So I'm curious to hear what other people, and you talked about cold weather, but what other people's experience. Because we lived in Texas, we went here 6 months ago. And in Texas, I noticed a big difference when it's cooler. So I'm wondering, I mean, here it's obviously a lot more.
You just plug in more often. Yeah. My cars usually go a week. Here, just around. Now I have to fly also on Wednesdays and then Sundays. Doesn't care. If you have one car, so you plug in and do it. It all depends on you do. You can do road trips, you can do local driving. Road trips get a little bit here, depending on the car, depending on the range.
You have one do now?
No, it's I saw it with you. What do you got? Seen it. Yeah, I mean, I think the best way to get people to drive EVs is to slow them drive it.
Yeah.
But if you drive it, you won't learn. It's fun, I mean, it's just.
Well, I think, you moved here, so so you live in Penfield? So, like, when I was wanting to get a program with a charger, and Al says, oh, talk to Eagle. So, and then there's another guy, I think his name is Jeff, right? He got an Equinox like Al and I have. So, I talked to Jeff, and it's like, so we've got this little community,
network.
and we're in a geothermal heat pump group as well, So I think that's really important. If you move here, like, really want to hook up with color perspective green, because that's your community here.
Because you're looking at it like, yeah, that one has. I mean, the show helps because you talk to owners.
Yeah, if you say, oh, we're thinking about going with solar, like Dave used Green Spark, I use ACES. We all use ACES for our heat pumps, and so we've all done the multi-vendor comparison.
We also listed Facebook groups that are local, we got election groups. There's a Western New York, there's Central New York, the people living here and dealing with cars, and like the first thing I'll tell you guys, especially if you're not, it makes a huge difference.
So at the outset, we had 5 things that people most wanted to learn. Amongst you, I don't know which ones are yours, I have no idea, but did we answer your questions and expectations and the things that you wanted to learn? Or did we fall short anywhere? Or is there anything else that you need to know before we wind up here? Those were the 5 most important things that 5 out of, I think, 9 or 10 people filled out on the survey. All good?
So the one about leaf, is there somebody here or not? Is it?
It was
Or is it some gentleman?
someone in our meeting.
And Peter, your other card, Peter,
I have a 23 Kia Niro and 22.
I think that's right, I knew, just got it, 23.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't you
That's
know?
my wife's birthday.
So, we got Equinox, Tesla, you also have Prius. These would be like,
We have a Bolt and the Bolt EV and we bought the Bolt EV in the January of 24. So in the last slightly over 12 months, we've got $22,500 products on 200.
You're trying to find which brands people have.
well, yeah, I mean, and we like them, like they buy again.
I bought 3. Started with a Bolt. That's a range extended hybrid. And then we got the Bolt last year. And we've got the people on this year. We traded with that. And the Bolt was,
So you're a Chevy guy.
well, as a matter of fact, yeah. 269 Camaros, Corvette, yeah, Chevy way back, but, you know, if I, there's a lot of Teslas out there, a lot of families that have Teslas. Kia is like coming on strong, but so is General Motors.
Kia and Honda, yeah, a lot of very interesting models.
And Ford, the Ford, yeah, the Mach-E is a really cool car. And I have friends that have the F-150 Lightning. That's just the coolest vehicle ever.
Then there's Volvo, you have the X40, you have the Series coming out. It's a smaller car. I don't know what you're looking for, what size, what type of a car. It kind of depends which brand scale. Nissan doesn't have a lot. They have a Leaf that's going away and then buying.
How many models do you usually get at the beauty car show? A lot, right? Like 2 dozen?
Yeah.
Yeah, those were, I was looking at right car shows.
Man, you can even find 3-row SUVs now. Some people need huge things, it's like we do not. And it's huge, it's one of the rest now.
A friend of mine bought a 23 Nero at the electric car one. And she got the $4,000 rebate.
We paid at the peak of prices, so
Yeah.
$400 on them was so huge.
And she said that was a low pressure experience.
Yep.
I mean, that, historically, you get nervous about going to this used car dealer with fast price of used cars. And this was,
So I wanted to finish up. We've got 1 minute left, and I'm going to do my last slide. So, why did you buy an Equinox and sell the Chevy Bolt? Okay, so I wanted to answer that question. In other words, basically, what was I looking for as an owner? First of all, my overall impressions of the Bolt. I enjoyed it very much. No question about it. We got a new battery. There was a recall of the batteries. So it's like a reset of the entire car, basically. And I liked the regenerative braking, living electric, heated seats and steering wheel, excellent in the winter. And your question on mileage, miles per kilowatt hour, for me, it dropped. The range is in good weather. The expected range is 259 miles in a Bolt. I would usually get between 190 and 200 in the worst winter weather with the cabin heater set to 70 degrees. So there's a substantial decline, 25% decline. Now, what did I want in a new EV? Here's a experienced EV owner. What do I want in the next one? I wanted exactly what she said, where I'm driving on the expressway and a car pulls in front of me and slows down. So now I gotta react, or I want the car to react. Dynamic radar cruise control. I got it on my new one. Check. That's one check. Number two, Super Cruise I didn't buy. That's like your full self-driving, didn't buy. Number two, more range. I went from 259 to 319. Check. All right, check number two. Faster charging, faster DC charging. On the road, the Bolt only charged at about 55 kilowatts to start and went down from there. So this new car, the Equinox, I think is up in the 150 range, 100 to 150 range kilowatts charging. So it's going to be a whole lot faster, spend less time at the charging station. And finally, over-the-air software updates. Well, yes, I've got some, but not all. And the features that I didn't know that I was going to get are the one I showed you up top, which was the route planning. That's an unexpected delight. I'm just so happy. And secondarily, being able to charge with the Tesla charger is new and nice. And the last thing I'll mention is I got wireless charging for my iPhone. Wow. Okay. Had no idea. So these are some of the things I wanted. I got every one of them and more in my new car. And with that, I'm going to end this and we're done. Any other questions?
Did your Tesla charger come with or was that?
No, I had to buy it. It was a couple $100.
Depends on the brand.
It's an adapter.
Ford, Kia will send an adapter, but it's all, there's a window. If you bought during this time, they'll send you an adapter. Our car, we have to go buy one. So it depends who we're dealing with. And some cars will come with the new Ford anyways.